You know, they say that every great story has a trickster, a prankster, a prophet, someone who the masses must rely on to guide them. And in this story, that role falls to Lovelace. To me, he's one of the most interesting characters in the entirety of the show, and I do believe that he does deserve his own episode. So we're going to be talking a little bit about Lovelace today, and let's start with where we first got introduced to him. So Mumble had first been uh, introduced to the Adelie Penguins, Ramon and the others, and they brought him to see Lovelace because he had some questions, right? The way how they introduced Lovelace was genius. They did it in a way we typically call show not tell. So it didn't so much say that he was this ominous shaman. We could gather that from the actions that were happening around him, right? So we got inferences about him as a character based on the things that we saw, even in the scene leading up to him being introduced. So the way how they spoke about Lovelace, the Ramon and the others, the Adelie Penguins, they had to be in a line to meet with him, right? He had rules. I remember when the guy asked, I think it was about his girlfriend, if she was alive, and then he asked, uh, he wanted to ask another question, and then uh, Lovelace said one rock, one question, right? So just those little things around him let you know that this character is not only important, but how he's perceived within the Adeli society. Um, that's being, the shaman, the guy who has all these answers, connection to the mystic beings, as he likes to put it, or he liked to put it, right? Um, Fast forward a bit, we got to see. Well, all right. Before we fast forward, let's reverse a little bit. In the interaction with him and Mumble asked him what the people that he saw were like, based on the squad's definition of what he had seen, the long flat faces, and all that. And if that's how he got the emblem, the thing that was around his neck, the thing that was suffocating him, also, if that was how he got it, and Lovelace kind of got pissed off, for lack of a better word there. He said, like mocking Mumble, asking all these questions without having enough pebbles to warrant the currency needed to transact this discussion, right? So even in that, we get to see that there's a difference between the Emperor Penguin side versus the Adeli side. Also, too, I really find it interesting that Lovelace isn't even an Adeli penguin. He's actually a rockhopper penguin, right? And that that slight difference in him being a different penguin, it actually lends to him being uh, perceived differently. Because him being of a different tribe or a different type of penguin, that also lends for him being perceived as somebody that has otherworldly knowledge because he's from a different society also. So it's just so many little things that come together to make him interesting as a character, at least for me, right? All right, now we can fast forward a bit to when he was choking on the what do you call it now? The medallion or the plastic thing that was around his neck, and he revealed how he got it. That he actually found it. He got trapped, and that's how it. I know it's been choking him bit by bit till he was there suffocating, right? So we get to actually see an unraveling of the mystique that he had built up around himself, and in seeing that, I know it was not that long, but we got to see him, you know, during the time when they were going off to try to find the mystic beings to help him get it off his neck, which ended up happening when they were fighting not really fighting, but trying to avoid being killed by the killer whales, right? Um, it, I don't know, it's such an interesting character. Um, even after that had happened and Mumble was going to go off on his own, um, he went. That's when his character truly transformed. He went from being the one who was revered to becoming somebody that would tell, in his own words, the story of Mumble long after his dead are gone. So he went from the one who would be the shaman, the one who would have all the answers, to being a storyteller of the person or the penguin in this case, who was brave enough to do things not only to save him, but also to act on a mission to find, answers or find the people in the great beyond, the flat-faced humans, right? Um, yeah, so we also do get again to see kind of a shift in his personality in the second or the Happy Feet 2 when he does become what kind of take a back seat almost to the uh, to Sven, the puffin that he that's another I may do a bit of comparing Sven to a bit like the guru, not really the guru, but more like the Andrew Tate type character. But that's another video. But yeah, so he did do a full 360 in a sense of changing his character, becoming somebody that would do things for other people, other penguins. Even though he did go back to the Adelie penguins and you know, probably still did live a bit lavishly because he did have built up a huge amount of rocks in his collection over time. And in that society, the one who has the most rocks, does become the one who will probably mate the most. But uh, you know, then okay. So let's I don't know, next video.